Hi, Scott.
Hey, Miriam, how are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well. Hey, I get my
You're muted.
clearance. Oh, wait.
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now I can. I was muted.
I could hear you, though.
Yeah. Well, I was muted the sound.
Oh, gotcha. I wanted to let you know I did get my clearance.
Good.
My ethics clearance. So on at least that side of things are tied up.
Here comes everybody. And this time I'm able to log everybody in. I'm so relieved that we're not having a repeat of the last time. Hello. Hi, Mary. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted, Robin. Unmute yourself.
I think we'll all stay hidden.
Is better?
That's good. I was saying I was relieved that I was able to sign into this thing this time, unlike the last time where I was frantically trying to figure out why it wasn't working. Sometimes Zoom just doesn't work.
Let's see. I know it's not. It's like now the sun decides to come out.
We're waiting for Beth. I think Beth's here coming. Don't remember hearing that she wasn't. Well, Penny's away, but she's given me everything I think I need, and hopefully I won't flub it. So
we'll see how bad I can mess up the minutes.
I heard that they're getting some applicants for the position, so that they're going to start a more formal process of looking at the applicants sometime soon, I hope.
Good.
But Aunt Penny's doing it very nicely, so she could stay.
Maybe they can create a new position to help out there, you know.
Yeah. Did you see the newspaper article about Robin? Not about Robin, about Janice?
No.
Front page of the Amherst Bulletin. She was on the front page of the Amherst Bulletin. Because of the Concom in Hadley, she is resigning because the select board got rid of the chairperson. And then 2 commissioners quit in protest.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, after some interesting meetings here, it's like, I can see why.
She's been there for 15 years, though. It's terrible. I asked her if she wanted to come work for us, and there was not much of a response. I take that as maybe not.
Glad you asked, though.
Okay, well, I feel like maybe we should get going because we've got other things, and I want this meeting to go on forever. We've got the public meeting for the RDA tonight, and Maria Furstenberg is supposed to show up so that we can deal with the continued public hearings for the 2 ANRADs. But we'll kind of deal with that when we get to that point. So in the next few minutes, let's see what we can take care of. The planning board is scheduling a site visit for the Wheel Attract solar project at the end of August, and the Conservation Commission is invited as well. And they're looking at possible dates. So I'm going to forward you guys the email and they're not doing a doodle poll, but I think you can just respond to the original sender and say what your availability is. There's a couple of days that they're looking at the end, four different dates at the end of August. I'm just thinking we might want to go over some other things. So we've got the site visit for 16 Cornwall Lane. I don't know, Mary, do you want to just share?
Sure.
There, but
yes. So we went out to take a look at that.
Oh, wait. Well, I'm forgetting an important thing. We need somebody to take minutes tonight.
Yeah, I said I would take them.
Okay, good.
You shamed me into it.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. So we did go out to the site visit, and there was Miriam, myself, Beth, and Don. And they had staked out, we didn't meet the owner there, but they had previously staked out where they were going to put the addition. So we did walk around and look at that. And there's no wetlands anywhere near that. We did walk down closer towards the end of the property where they look like they have some wetlands, but that was way more than the 100 feet. So they don't meet they don't have any need for anything else with that. And I think it says that she signed off on the BPA.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
So we have 2 site visits to schedule. We've got the 35 South Laurel Drive RDA for the watering system. The landowner's name is Linda Gribko. And we also have at 294 West Pelham Road, there's a solar project being put in by a landowner for their own personal use. And so it's a site review only, gets permitted by the ZBA because it's small enough, it doesn't trigger the solar zoning bylaw. But we still need to go out and look at the wetlands. So I thought we could try to figure out scheduling that. Maybe we could do both of those. I am away next week.
I am too, actually.
Okay. Theoretically, could do it over the weekend or could do it next weekend.
Sorry.
What do you guys think? When do you come back, Robin?
Well, I'm leaving Saturday the 24th. And I don't come back until Saturday the 31st. So I'm like completely booked. And tomorrow is packing and laundry and all of that. Okay. So we're talking, what is it, August 2nd, that Monday?
Okay. Well, I think if we could do it on the Monday, August 2nd, that would be fine. Because, we're not going to be able to do anything until we meet next anyway. Let me just check my calendar. So we're looking.
I'm going to run downstairs and actually get our house calendar and make sure I'm not booking something against.
Okay.
Something that we're.
You should just bring it with you up here, Robin.
I should.
She always leaves the meeting to go downstairs to look at the.
Yeah.
A family calendar sounds very civilized. I just don't tell anybody what I'm doing and then find out people have committed me to things.
I'm trying to switch from the hard copy family calendar, this huge thing, to an electronic one because my husband uses, a Google one, and he keeps saying you should add your.
Well, I did that because I've switched over to doing just Google, and so I shared my calendar with my son and his wife because they often want me to help out with a grandchild, and then they never looked at it. And they're always calling me like, are you free? I'm like, you have it on your phone. Just look at the calendar, Hi, Maria.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I'm open on that Monday.
Yeah. And I am do it.
I am too in the afternoon.
I am. I'm here. Second.
What would be a good time?
For me, anytime, after starting at 4 or later is great.
Okay. So maybe 4 and 4:30.
Sure.
That's fine
Yeah.
with me.
I will check with the landowners because Penny's away, and I'll get back to you guys about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, so I'm a little confused about the agenda tonight because it looks like the RDA public meeting is now on the agenda for 7:20, and I thought we had the ANRAD for 7:20 because we thought it was only going to take 10 minutes because it would be continued. Maria, what's your recollection?
My recollection is that the ANRAD is at 7:30, and I think we partially did that because we have the other one at 8, so it was closer. But if the one at 7:20 takes a little longer, that is totally fine.
Okay.
You're right, it will not take much time.
Because we're supposed to open this public meeting at 7:20, and it's going to take a little while. It's not going to be like a quickie thing.
That's okay.
So maybe we can start it and then at 7:30 pause it and take care of your business.
You can, but I don't want you to feel obligated to do that.
Well,
I am trying very hard to actually send you something tonight. So if you want to keep talking while I finish.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be able to look at it probably.
No, but I think that everyone will feel better having the conversation if I've actually sent.
Okay. Oh, well, okay.
That's fair.
All right. So we've got all that. There's another agenda item, which I don't really have enough information about, that somebody, Lincoln Allen, I don't know him, emailed the commission that there's a property on Wendell Road, 29 acres, that is going up for sale, and he would like to see it preserved rather than subdivided. So I'm wondering if that is wanting to know if the town would be interested in buying it. But I don't know any more about that. So, and I don't know how that would work. I don't know where money comes from for these things. Anybody know? Do you know, Beth?
I know how it works in Amherst.
Yeah.
There's certainly grants that you can apply for. There's a grant called the land grant. It's local acquisitions for natural diversity, I think it stands for. But unfortunately, the cycle for FY22, the applications were just due on July 14th. But they do it every year, and you can apply, and that's exactly what it's for, is buying land that you're going to conserve and use for just passive recreation. But I think the first thing you have to do is kind of talk more to Becky Torres, maybe at that level, about what if the town would be interested. And also you have to get a assessment of the property. You have to get a value. So there's sort of some investment up front to assess the property, find out if there's any hazardous material on it, and that kind of sort of investigation to figure out if the town really does want to buy it. But there are avenues to get money to buy it. Maybe the Concom we would go look at it and see if we're even interested, and then make a recommendation to Becky and the select board if we think we might be interested.
Okay. Well, I will. How about if I reach out to this person, a Lincoln, and maybe see if we can arrange a site visit?
Is that the owner?
I think so.
Okay.
I know that, the town is applying for a grant to build a library, and there's questions about what property would be good for the library. I guess it's a little away from town center, so they probably wouldn't want to put a library down on Wendell Road that far, but and the town has a couple of other sites that are in the town center area. So, okay. So I'm just trying to think about what other business. We don't have a lot of business tonight to go over.
The minutes?
We have to do the minutes. So has everybody had a chance to look at them? Thank you for remembering that.
Yes.
These were Penny's minutes. And let me pull them up. find them. Did anybody have corrections?
No,
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 8th minutes.
I'll second that. Okay, all in, okay. David,
Aye.
DeFont, aye. Harrington,
Aye.
Wilson.
Aye.
Okay. I actually wrote out all of our names in alphabetical order this time, so I wouldn't be like waiting for myself to answer. Okay, I don't think we have anything else except for we have to do the RDAs at 7:30 or 7:20. No, 7:20. And Tim Hunting is supposed to be joining us and is not here yet. So I don't think we want to start talking about that until we give him a chance to attend.
So just on the land purchase thing, there's also CPA funding that the town has.
Oh,
You know, and there's a category of CPA which is for conservation. And there's groups like Kestrel Land Trust and groups that you can work with that can kind of help you with the fundraising, but also just organizing all the paperwork and things that you need to get together to buy the land. But we'd be buying it as conservation land, so you couldn't probably you wouldn't put a library on it. You're just buying it
right.
as conservation land. We could put trails and whatever, but
It would go into CR, conservation restriction.
Right.
Well, those are cool ideas.
Yeah. So there's a way. And it seems like in Amherst, if there's a property that we really want to conserve, there always seems to be a way. And also usually when the town buys a piece of land for that purpose, it's at the assessed value. And then often people who are donating the land also sort of sometimes reduce the price, because they want it to be preserved. So they sell it to the town at a reduced price. But
you're saying that usually towns will pay for whatever the assessed value is, or they have to.
If that's sort of the most a town has to pay is the assessed value.
Oh,
then often somebody who's donating will go even lower. So whoever owns that land, if they really want it conserved, they may say, I only want this much money for the 29 acres.
Right. It has 1,200 feet of frontage, which means theoretically it could have been subdivided into at least 4 parcels, because I think you need 250 feet of frontage. So it sounds like maybe the landowner is still living nearby and doesn't want to see it carved into building lots.
Yeah. Interesting. I guess you kind of have to get the feel for what the rest of the town wants to, does the select board want it to? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about. Penny had suggested that we at some point discuss the our local wetlands bylaw and consider revising the RDA fees, because I guess currently they're $140. And she was suggesting revising the bylaw to lower the fees and also lower the requirement of the abutter notices. Because I guess you can do it either by certified letters or you can do it by a certified mailing list, which is much less expensive and easier to do.
Right.
To make it easier for residents to do these projects, get projects through. So that's something we could talk about at some point. Maybe we'll talk about when she's here, because she probably has more history with how that has been for people. In theory, it sounds good. I always worry about just changing anything with this, our wetlands bylaw, because I'm afraid if you open something up at town meeting, are we gonna regret that we opened it up?
Yeah, I think that's what we had decided last time. Is there any other way of doing that? You know,
Right.
than revising the bylaws.
Right. And this was a different issue, which is, making things, we didn't discuss this issue, did we?
Not this issue, but we were talking about we should avoid trying to revise that.
Right.
It opens it all up. If there's other ways to do it, could we put it in rules and regulations instead of the bylaws,
Right. Janice had thought there were some ways we could do some of the other issues and handle them by just with regulations, but I'm not sure that this issue came up. I can't remember particularly.
Yeah, I don't think this in particular did, no.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think it's a nice idea. It'd be interesting to find a way to actually make that happen.
Right. Well, it's 7:20, so we should open the meeting for the public. It's not a public hearing, I was corrected. It's a public meeting for the RDAs for the highway projects. And we don't have anybody from the highway department here, but maybe they'll show up. Have you all had a chance to look at the maps and look at the draft conditions that Penny had put together? Should I pull out those draft conditions? I can share the screen. And I do that.
Okay, I've read them, but I did not. Oh, I think I printed them out. Let me see.
Well, we might want to change them. So let me see if I can find. Here they are. Okay, I'm pulling it up. Okay. So these were the conditions for each project that.
Make that bigger.
Yeah, can I make it bigger? How do I make it bigger? Just blow it up. Let's see if I can do that. Trying to get to the little plus sign. It's not letting me get to it. Oh, how's that? Is that better?
Yep, it is better.
Good.
So, okay, the highway department parking lot. A couple of things here is that Penny added the idea of putting large stones at the edge of the east side of the newly paved area to prevent encroachment of sand and plowed snow and debris. Because remember, they didn't want to use those stone things, those concrete block things they have.
Right.
Their Tinker Toys on the Legos. But they're not here to talk to us about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I think we had said that something should be put there.
Right. And just reading through all these, I mean, it seems to be exactly what we were discussing when we were there.
Yeah.
Nothing surprised me from reading this.
The only issue is the stones we didn't discuss with them,
Right.
I don't think. Though we did discuss that we would like to have something preventing the encroachment, because we had that whole conversation about the concrete Lego blocks.
Yes.
I don't know what they're called. So those are the conditions that we have for the highway department. I think it's pretty straightforward. For the garage, Penny had not added anything about erosion controls. And I wonder, it's very flat there. So I'm not sure erosion controls are necessary. I don't know, maybe Beth, you have an idea about whether it makes sense to have a erosion socks even if it's level.
Yeah, I think you should. So I didn't go to the site visit. I'm not even sure if I can vote on these. I probably can't. But we're talking about the DPW property, right?
Nope, it's across the street. It's a empty lot where there's an old mechanics garage that's being demolished.
And is this the site, one of the potential sites for the library that they keep referring to?
Yes. And they're going to there was a discussion at the last select board meeting. They're going to be doing soil testing just to see. There's been kind of concerns that perhaps there's a lot of ground contamination at that site because it was an auto repair shop.
Hmm.
Also, I guess they just discovered in the building since we were there that there is asbestos in the building.
Oh, good grief.
So they have to do an abatement.
Just around the windows, right?
Yes. I don't know what that is involved.
That gets expensive.
So there is no erosion on the map for this. We could say prior to start,
I always would say between the work area and the resource area.
okay. Work area and the resource area. And then we would say erosion sock will serve as limit of work. And then erosion sock will be removed. Well, actually, removed once project is completed. I mean, if you use a biodegradable one, you don't have to remove it, right? But okay, does that sound right? Anything else we want to think about? No. And replacement of the culvert. This is an area where my recollection from the site visit is that there's a wetland on one side of the slope on the road, and then there's this pretty I think it's a frequently wet culvert that then drains down a slope into Dean Brook. Remember, it was a fair, my recollection was a pretty steep bank on that side of the road. Who else was at that site visit? Mary, you were there, right?
Yeah.
Robin wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I was at the first two, but then I had to leave and couldn't.
Okay, so, and this is
the culvert on one side is pretty straightforward, I think, for replacing
right.
that. And on the other side, they had a plan to put something down because it is a steep hill.
Right.
But they had something they were going to put down when they did the work.
Well, they were going to put in silt fences, and the problem is that you have to sort of dig in a trench to install a silt fence, whereas with an erosion sock, there's less disruption to the vegetation.
Mm-hmm.
But the question was, since there's going to be some removal of vegetation on that downstream side, that downhill side, that perhaps straw matting and reseeding to get it to revegetate and hold it in place so that it doesn't erode. Because honestly, the way things are going this month, every dirt road culvert is a disaster in town. Have you seen any of them? It's a little off topic, but some of them are really in bad shape.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you live right. So does that sound all right to everybody? Beth, do you have any thoughts about it, even though you weren't there?
No, I mean that sounds good. So they're taking out the entire culvert,
yeah,
under the road and replacing it.
Right.
Okay, and it's because the culvert is damaged. Is it sort of crushed?
It's corroded, I think, was the issue.
Okay.
And silted up.
And do you know they're just replacing it with the same size culvert and everything that they're using? Yeah. Yeah, I think just having erosion controlled down gradient from where the work's going to be, especially if it's a slope, that sounds good. And I see they don't want to do it, during rain. To try to avoid doing it during rain is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty fast flow. It'd be hard to do if it was raining.
It's a mess right now everywhere. I don't know. They've been doing repairs on culverts on my road, and they just keep washing out. It's just like throwing that dirt away. It's not going it's not staying in place, but we gotta do something. Okay, so I feel like maybe that's it. Anything else we need to discuss about this? I mean, it's 7:29. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you guys ever add in that somebody from the Conservation Commission will kind of inspect the erosion control at all, come out and take a look at it?
We do. So, you know, I don't know if we want to do this with this particular situation where it's the town doing it as opposed to, you know, often we do that when it's, you know, private landowners. You know, I guess the hope is that the highway department knows what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. I work for the Amherst. I work with the DPW in Amherst a lot. So yeah, that trust is a good thing to have.
Yeah. I don't know if it's really necessary in this case.
Okay, fine.
And I don't want to hold them up because they've already been held up enough with this project. So let me see if I can dig up the form because I had it all out and see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to stop screen sharing this form. And Maria, are you able to hold on for a second so we can just vote on this other form and move on to you?
Go for it.
Okay, great. So we want, where to go? Where it is. Okay. That's not, can you see it? I can't see it.
No, it's real skinny.
What are you guys looking at though?
It shows the top of a worksheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't even find it. Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it. On my, here it is.
There you go. Oh,
here it's down here.
There we
Okay.
go.
All right. So here's the form. Let me get up to the top. These are the 3 projects for the determination. The maps are already preloaded on here. We've already gone over those. And this is a negative determination. The work will be described as in those conditions. They'll be attached. So we just need to vote. So I'll just do it. Mary David.
Okay.
You gonna say aye or yes?
Aye.
And Robin Harrington.
Aye.
And Beth, I don't know if you can vote, can you? Because you haven't been to any of the
I didn't hear there was an original presentation too at a meeting too. Did you talk about, because I missed that too.
No, this is the first time we've really gone over it. DeFont, aye. So I think we just circulated the maps to everybody and did the site visit. If we show what?
I said, I guess I could vote then.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like being Elizabeth or Beth?
Beth.
Beth, then you want to vote?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So I will save this and distribute it. Penny showed me how to e-file it. So we should be okay with that. All right. So next is going back to Maria. And hold on one second. Let me just close that form. So we are opening the public hearing for the ANRAD at ZD 37 Montague Carver. So Maria, you want to give us an update?
Yes. I am actually sending you the update for that tonight. I am very sorry about the delay on that. I've finally gotten all the pieces together. Essentially, what I am sending you is an updated resources map a figure that shows the difference between the original area and the new area that's been added, the additional delineation forms, an updated abutter list, as well as documentation from Natural Heritage about the certified vernal pool. I believe we discussed this at a prior meeting, but the certified vernal pool was kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Emily Stockman and I went and geolocated where Natural Heritage had it, and there was definitely nothing there. So we contacted Natural Heritage for the original documentation and discovered that it was actually one of the vernal pools that we had already identified on the site. So the plan has been updated to show the certified vernal pool that it corresponds with in the correct place.
Okay. Great.
But those are the things that are going to be in there. The idea is that once I send this to you, that Emily will be able to write a proposal to do review of the additional area that is south of Carver Road.
Okay.
And we will go from there.
And she's already reviewed the maps for the other side, for the north side.
She has done a couple of site visits, so this map will include that. I don't think that she's seen a full update of that, but she has done all of the field review of what was on the north side.
Okay.
So this map does reflect all of that.
Okay. Great. So what are you thinking about for scheduling? Because we're going to have, this is going to take a while.
I know.
You think in September?
I don't think we have to go out quite that far. Sorry, I'm just bringing up a calendar so I can actually see what we're talking about. So if I send this tonight, my hope is that it can be approved by your next meeting, which you meet on the 2nd
12th.
day.
12th,
It would be the 12th. And that's
If she can get us a proposal by then.
right. I mean, that's 3 weeks. That should be more than enough time for her to provide a proposal. I assume it's going to be very similar to the other proposals that she's done for these reviews. So we would not be able to schedule a site visit until after the 12th. So yeah, could we go with September 9th? I think that's your first meeting in September.
That would be
1, 2, 3.
That sounds much more realistic than trying to hope for the end of the second meeting in August.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at the schedule and saying that definitely won't work. So if you're okay with September 9th, I think that is realistic for that.
Okay. Let's do 7:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I don't have my calendar in front of me of when our meetings are in September. Are we meeting on September 9th? Are you sure about that?
The 9th is the second Thursday.
Okay, great.
It is the second Thursday.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that sounds. Do we need to take a vote on that, or we're just I don't know if we can just agree on that date.
So I request a continuance, and then you make a motion.
We make a motion, right? So you're asking for a continuance.
Please.
Okay. Well, I'll move that we continue the public hearing for ZD 37 to September 9th at 7:30. Do we have a second?
I second that we move it to September 9.
Okay. David?
Aye.
DeFont, aye. Harrington?
Aye.
Wilson?
Aye.
Okay. All right. So we are continued.
Okay.
So we do not have any business for the next 20 minutes.
So I'm going to keep pulling this together so I can send it to you.
Okay.
The other one, I'll tell you this at 7:30, but we're still waiting on the signed page, so we wouldn't have been able to close tonight anyway, which is part of why I haven't.
Okay.
But I have no update on exactly when we're going to get that. They keep saying.
Okay.
Do we have other business?
Actually, yeah, we do. And I realize that I neglected this, but I think I think we need to have a revote of the continuation, because it just occurs to me that, Beth, you have to recuse yourself from Montague. Aren't you in a butter?
I live on Montague. I'm not sure how far my house is from where the project site is. It's off of Carver, right? It's the north side of Carver.
Well, there's a big chunk of it on the south side of Carver Road.
Do you want me to share my screen really quickly so you can see the
Why don't you take a look? Yeah, if you could.
Sure.
Does it have parcels, the parcels on it?
Come on, computer, please work.
It's a really funny tract. And so it has a little finger that sticks out onto Montague Road where you wouldn't think it's part of the same parcel.
I'm not allowed to screen share the host.
Oh, you are not allowed to screen share. Well, why don't we see if I can help you do that? Okay. All right, try it now.
Excellent. Okay. So this is the original study area, is this kind of rectangle up here that's north of Carver. And then the newer piece that was added in is this south part. So this particular sheet doesn't have the abutters listed on it, but you can see all the parcels. So I don't know if you're in a butter or where exactly you live.
I live in the funny shaped parcel that's on the left side of Montague that looks like an upside down L.
Okay.
You can see it right there. And I don't, let's see, I don't know what the scale is. Everything's so small because I'm looking at my phone.
Oh, yeah, it's this
So
sheet.
it's this.
Do you see the upside down L on the left side of Montague Road?
I guess.
So
Maria,
I don't know.
Maria,
if somebody who can look at the map a little closer, on the left side, right across from where your arrow is, there's an upside down L.
This one? Yeah. Okay, yes, you're not in a butter then.
Okay.
Because the whole parcel is east of Montague Road.
But if you're within 300 feet, then you're considered to be in a butter.
The scale on this is that it over on this side, that from here to here, 700 feet. She's
okay. All right.
Looks like you're close to 1,000 feet away at least.
Okay, good. All right. We're just being careful about these things because
that was a very good point.
So complicated for all of us to figure out. Thank you. All right, so you can stop screen sharing if you want.
All right, thanks.
All right. Maybe we could just take a second while we're waiting. We could talk about our vacancy since Scott is here. There have been some other people who showed an interest, but they haven't shown up at meetings. So I feel like Scott's been coming to meetings religiously. So I'm wondering if we want to have a conversation with Scott about his appointment, so maybe we could figure this out tonight.
That would be nice.
And then you could come on some site visits, Scott.
That sounds good. I did. So a couple things I've been pursuing here in the interim were I needed to get a ethics clearance from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to make sure that my participation, if I were to be appointed to the Conservation Commission, isn't a conflict of interest. And I did receive that, given the fact that there's not, any identified overlap of jurisdiction between issues of the Conservation Commission and the Fish and Wildlife Service. Although if there ever were any, then I would need to recuse myself from that work. So from my standpoint, at least employment wise, I would be good to go.
How have you thought it through, like how it would work for you in terms of like participating in meetings if you're traveling? We're wondering if there's ever would be possible for you to participate if we're doing it remotely, if you're out of town.
Yeah, I think that I don't really, again, I'm not really sure what that looks like here for travel. I presumably things will go back at least to some sense of how they were before, and I will travel more often. I could participate remotely,
Yeah.
in the evenings, but that certainly, is potentially an issue, just with my schedule. But I think if it depends on how how you all feel about that in terms of remote participation in meetings.
Well, we're all participating remotely right now, so we really can't be too judgy about that. And I don't know what the future is going to be. I mean, I think that nobody knows. I mean, for now, they're going to continue doing the only having virtual meetings. And maybe there'll be a point in the next few months where we go back to in person. I personally hope they don't rush into that too soon until we know that we're not going to be slammed with these variants with COVID.
And if we do go to in person, isn't there a way we could also do Zoom and just have the computer in the Concom office set up and he could join us remotely?
Right. We could do that. Right. If I think that the idea they throw around is the idea of doing things on a hybrid basis. So yeah, I would think that he would still be able to vote. I think,
okay.
Hopefully, but even if he wasn't able to vote, he could deliberate with us, and we could try to schedule. If you're traveling during the week, I don't have a problem with doing site visits on weekends. It really doesn't matter. They all one day rolls into another when you're not working. It's all the same, right? You two are the ones who are working. we're all enjoying retired life.
I can't wait.
One day.
Well, as long as you're, aware that, what that might be like in terms of juggling all of that. Do you guys have any other questions you want to ask Scott?
Not me.
No.
Okay. Well, I would like to move that we recommend to the select board that they appoint Scott to the Conservation Commission. Do I have a second?
I second.
Robin seconds. David?
Aye.
Stefan? Aye. Harrington?
Aye.
Wilson?
Aye.
Okay, well, almost there, Scott.
Thank you, everyone. I'll wait action from the select board, and
I will send them. I think, have you sent us like an email sort of introducing yourself? I think you did, didn't you? Or did you just send it to me?
I'm not sure. I think I sent it to you, Miriam.
Okay. Does it say is it something I can forward saying like who you are or is it, I can't remember.
I can't either, but I'd be happy. Are you thinking about something that you could in turn forward to the select board?
Rather than, hey, Miriam, let's talk. Oh. Yeah, if you want to send me like a letter of a one paragraph, I am applying for this, and then I will forward it with our recommendation, and I'm sure they will appoint you gladly. So
sounds great.
They meet in every other week, and I don't think they're meeting next week because they met this week. So hopefully that will be on their agenda. I don't think you need to be there for it. If I get it on the agenda, I'll send you an email and let you know if you want to show up and they want to, but I can't see that it's going to be an issue. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Well, I'd be happy to send you a note and we can go from there. If
Yeah,
it's
that'd be
on the
great. And
agenda and
I'll
would
let
like
you
me to
know.
be
And
there.
then what happens then, once they vote you in, you have to go to town. You have to arrange to go to the town hall when the town clerk is in office. She's there part-time and her schedule is on the calendar, on the website. And you have to sign some disclosure papers and be sworn in. And then there's like a little online digital conflicts of interest training that you have to do through the State Ethics Commission. And then when you finish the little training, they give you a certificate and then you email the town clerk your certificate. And that's it. But once you're sworn in, you can come to meetings and vote, even if you haven't finished that training. And then once every 2 years, you have to renew the training.
Okay.
So
Great.
Okay, that is very good news. We're happy to have a full deck finally. So that's good. We got 10 minutes to go. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Well, since we were talking a little bit about conflicts of interest, I also got a sort of a form from the town of Amherst. Again, the same sort of thing that Scott was talking about with natural heritage. And the only projects that I see that I might have some issues and might have to recuse myself is things that are really within the watershed itself, which is sort of around the reservoir area, even up Pratt Corner parts. And so some of the ANRADs that we've been looking at and things that I'm probably going to have to recuse myself just because I do a lot of work with the watershed and I wouldn't want it to look like I was, trying to make a benefit for the town of Amherst and their water supply.
Yeah, I think I know that Pratt Corner South, I believe, is in the watershed area, maybe Pratt Corner West too. Maybe Maria knows offhand. The two projects that are down Pratt Corner Road.
What was the question?
Are they both in the Amherst watershed area?
Probably, but I don't know offhand.
I know Pratt Corner South is, because they had to get there was some permission they had to get for using the access road, I think.
Pratt South we did not have to do anything like that for Pratt West.
Oh.
I don't believe so.
Okay, so maybe just Pratt Corner South.
Right, Pratt's Corner South, some of the expansion was onto the watershed owned land because of its proximity along the edge and where the perennial stream is. Right. The Pratt West project is entirely on Cole's owned land.
Okay. So those are the two. So we'll just keep our eyes on that, Beth, and because we all have, I have to recuse myself currently for Pratt Corner East. So, it's an issue. Where do you live, Scott? Where do you live?
I live on the old dirt part of Wendell Road. So heading down, I'm probably a half mile from Lake Wyola, but on the part of Wendell Road that washes out all the time.
I bet it's great right now.
It's awesome.
I can't believe what happened to Carver Road.
Yeah.
You've seen it? It's unbelievable. Have you guys seen what happened to Carver Road? Well, part of Carver Road that is across the street from Briggs Road, that's off Wendell Road, the entire section of the road just gone. Like, wow. You wouldn't be able to get your vehicle out of your driveway.
They're all parked on the road on the paved part of Wendell before, but it looks like they fixed it up.
Yes.
The highway department was out, they graded it. So
not the highway department, because it's a private road. The residents had to pay for that.
Oh, wow.
They don't maintain, the town doesn't maintain that road. While we have a minute, I was just thinking, Mary, do you have any Lake Wyola Association updates that you want to share? Or do you want to share what we talked about at the select board meeting?
So I guess, so the update would be, so talking about road washouts and potholes and washout, we've received several complaints for the history of washouts because of culverts and various things with the roads around the Lake Wyola. So at the Lake Wyola Advisory Committee, they talked about it. We talked about it here. The association had talked about it. And at the select board meeting the other day, it came up because Eric was updating them about what went on at the advisory committee meeting.
Eric Stalker, who's on the select board.
Yes, he's their representative to the committee. And really, it went back and forth over a lot of the issues around it, but basically they're going to put it on the next agenda and finally invite people from the advisory committee and Lake Wyola Association and the conservation committee to come to the meeting, because the request is that we put together a group to really look at what are the resolutions and how we can support each other in resolving some of these issues. Because the issues really aren't the who fixes everyday potholes or the washout. The issues are we're not fixing the causes, and that's why it continues to happen. And I guess because it's private roads, there is some concern, or there was by the select board, that they can't help on private roads. But really the request wasn't for money or help. It was for some advisory and support if they go for grant money, to really be part of a committee that, instead of every committee does a little piece and one piece causes the next one to fall apart, that we as a group do something to look at that. So that should be on the next select board meeting, and they're supposed to invite all the chairs of those committees to come to have the discussion. So I'm in the process of trying to make sure Mark Rivers knows and the people on this side know that they're going to be doing that, because they've sent 2 letters requesting it, and it just hasn't gotten on their agenda now. So
yeah, I guess I felt like there was some comments made by the town administrator that, you know, it's really the responsibility of the lake and that the town shouldn't get involved, and that they need to deal with it. And I guess I feel like there are a lot of people who are coming to us with complaints, and those are people who want to do something about it, who live around the lake. And obviously our hands are tied in some ways, so we kind of need the participation of the select board, maybe as a mediator, or, you know, kind of help with problem solving.
Well, I think so. So between the administration and I guess their legal people, the answer keeps coming back. They're private roads, we can't get involved. That's not really the answer. So I live on the private road. I pay my taxes. Lake Wyola, as well as these areas that have private roads, are still part of the town. So they do have, I think, a responsibility to participate. That's not saying they have the responsibility to fix it.
Right.
But I think they have the responsibility to make sure if the Lake Wyola Association isn't moving forward, that they help us move forward with a plan to do it. That's, you know, and their answer has always just been the same thing that you heard at the meeting, repeated over and over. It's a private road.
Nothing we can do. It's gone on forever. It's never going to change.
It has been going on for years, and everybody knew that comes on. Well, I may be new, but I've been here for years. It's ongoing, and this last storm, I think, showed people, you know, over here we had a washout when an ambulance was trying to get through to pick up a resident, you know. And the things are, like I said, it's hard to do things, you know, by yourself over here. You know, I just put up money to, you know, dig out my culverts over here because I can't physically go and dig them out myself. So there should be some resolution to help people do it. And hopefully the people will come with an agenda to have the conversation, because like I said, the select board's opinion is to keep pushing it back to the association pushes it back to somebody else, and then nobody's dealing with it. And as you can see, it's the problem. It's not just our problem. We happen to be doing it because the issues are with the runoff going into the lake. It is affecting the lake. You know, down the end of the street here, the wetlands overflowed across the road down into, you know, all it goes down right back into the lake. you know, the end of the cove is filling up with silt, which is affecting all of that. So there's conservation issues, you know, with
Well, the people
regard-
are complaining about discharges into the lake and wanting some enforcement from the Conservation Commission. But if the root causes aren't addressed, you know, we don't really have the capacity to go after every landowner on the lake and ask them to, you know, to get them to do something. I think that there needs to be a more of a holistic approach.
Well, and I think that the other two issues, one, you know, with the potholes, at our last meeting, I was told the potholes were good because it keep people from speeding down the road, which I don't really think that's a good idea. But even with the North Beach being closed because of the high E. coli count, you know, the quote explanation for that is with all the runoff at this time, with all these rains into the lake, that's what's causing the high E. coli. So, you know, it would seem to me it's something that we should be addressing. If all of this runoff into the lake is in truth what's causing that, then we should be doing something about it too.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, one thing leads to the other, and all of those do impact the environment. And, you know, I do think we need to work together to come up with a reasonable plan, rather than every individual person who lives on a private road is trying to individually, in their own opinion, fix what needs to be the problem. That's not really working.
So if I see that it's on a select board agenda, I will email everybody, but you can also just check online at the next select.
I'm going to keep checking, and I'm going to let Dave and Mark and Donna know, from just because they live on the same street I do. I'm going to try to make sure that I have already sent them emails, you know, that it happened and they should be looking for an invite. So, but I will follow up on that. And like I said, they were looking to get a meeting, and we got a meeting, and so everybody should be happy that it's kind of moving forward now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. Thanks for that update. We should open the public hearing for the ANRED at ZU to Pratt Corner South.
Okay.
So you've sent us something which I have not had a chance to check in my inbox about.
That's okay.
This was the signed map.
Right. So essentially, I owe you a couple of things for this one, but a big piece of what's been holding it up and why you would not be able to close tonight anyway is because the new parcels are on the town of Amherst water supply owned land, and we are still waiting for their signature. The review has all been done and the plans were updated based on that. But legally on file, we need that signature. So I'm still waiting on that to be able to send you.
Okay. All right. And what is your wish and hope about when you would like to do this?
Given that the field work is all done on this one, my wish and hope is that we continue this one to August 12th.
I think we have 2 RDAs scheduled for that night. So it may be a busy night. Would you be willing to postpone this to the next one, to our whatever the second meeting in August?
26th.
The 26th.
I mean, if I have to, I don't really have a leg to stand on here. So I do believe that it's going to be a very short discussion.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to put us at 7:20 or 7:15, something like that, then if it's ultimately not ready, it's not going to like do much of anything to the rest of your schedule.
Yeah, I think that one of them's already been scheduled for 7:30. and I don't know what the time is for the second one. So I'm okay with that. How do you guys feel? Is that all right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's to squeeze it in on August 12th. Is that
At 7:15?
at 7:15?
Okay. 7:15. Okay. All right.
I will hound them more and say that, they really have to get me that because.
Okay. Please do. And let us know as soon as, if it's not going to happen, if you could just let us know, because, it just makes our scheduling much easier when we know in advance.
Yes. And
what to expect.
I'm sorry that I was a bit MIA before this meeting.
That's okay. Okay. So I'll make a motion that we continue the hearing to August 12th at 7:15. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay. So we'll do a roll call. And I think, Beth, you have to recuse because this is Amherst Watershed.
Yeah.
So David.
Aye.
DeFont, aye. Harrington.
Aye.
Aye. So we had 3, so it's quorum. So we're good. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see you soon. So we don't have anything else on our agenda. We can close and have a nice early night.
Yay.
Well, take
At
care,
8:00.
everyone.
So do we have to make a motion to close?
Yes, we do.
So I'll make a motion to close at 8:05.
Okay. I will second that. And David.
Aye.
DeFont. Aye. Right. Harrington.
Aye.
Aye. And Wilson.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, guys. And we'll see you on the 12th.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.